All right. Hi. Hello to anyone who's watching this. You're watching a game that was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together and plays tabletop role-playing games online. Check out Gauntlet-RPG for all things relating to the Gauntlet, including blogs, forums. There's also the monthly zine codex, which contains usually supplements to existing games, more often than not, original games in itself. There's also like a podcasting network, and of course, there is um, the Hangouts calendar to which this game was arranged. This is after 14 sessions. This is the finale of our open table campaign of Band of Blades. Which, since this is finale, I'll just like run through exactly um, what Band of Blades is. It is a game of dark military fantasy by Strash Ashimovic and John LeBouf Little. You might know them as also the designers of Scum and Villainy. This is a game Forged in the Dark, which means it's a hack of Blades in the Dark by John Harper. Check them out down below in the video description. We have been following the travails of the Legion, which is a storied, decorated, centuries-old mercenary group who recently lost quite a bit of its number to the Cinder King and his undead horde at the Battle of Ettermark Fields. 14 sessions later, we've been following the Legion as they've retreated across the Aldermark continent and to make it to Skydagger Keep, where they hope to stage a a a stand against the Cinder King's forces to keep him away from the Eastern Kingdoms. And we've been doing quite a good job of that, I'd like to say. You've been doing a tremendous job, not just in Skydagger Keep, but throughout the entire kind of session, honestly. Um, and yeah, it's Jesus. Yeah, I'm just not sure. We have one more mission to do, and then it's just gonna like cap it off, and then see where Legion will end this campaign in. Let's do a round of introductions because we haven't done that in a while, or we might have, but forgive me. It's been 5 million years since our last session. It certainly feels like it. So yeah, let's do a round of introductions. I'm gonna go clockwise on my screen here as I see it. Maybe I should introduce myself first. Hi, my name is Leandro. I use he/him pronouns. Find me on Twitter at LPondoc. That's LPONDOC, not LPondoc like the luchador. Sadly, I'm not. So technically, I should be pronouncing it Lupondoc, but this is I made this Twitter account. This is my cross to bear. And follow me there for just some sporadic updates and stuff I do. Retweets of very round ducks. That's the last thing I think I did. Yeah, that duck was very round. It was so round. I'd screen share it, but I should move on before I get lost in this tangent. Next, I will call on Dan to introduce themselves.
Hey, my name is Dan. I am a technical theater educator in North Texas. At least I was until very recently. I still technically am, but there is no technical theater to be done in my school because of the coronavirus. So I've been reading a lot of plays, and hey, read plays. That's all I got. I use he/him pronouns, and that is all I've got.
Could you remind us what was the play you were all going to stage that involved D&D? Because I keep forgetting the name and I always want to check it out.
It is called She Kills Monsters. It's a great play. I have we've created so many really interesting things that are just going to sit in my scene shop for I don't know how long, because you don't usually use a beholder for a play. Chekhov doesn't have a lot of beholders in his classic works.
That's a gross deficiency of Chekhov. Then I'll learn to not check out his place. Well, I'll learn to check his place with a bit of caution. Lack of beholders. I'll just keep that in mind. Up next, I'd like to call on David to introduce themselves.
You're muted.
Oh, so I am. Sorry about that. Yes, so my name is David. I use he, him pronouns. I frequently forget to unmute myself. And yeah, like is the trend at the minute. I'm mostly sheltering in my attic from the plague raging outside. But life goes on.
Yeah, we're here. We're through the magic of Zoom. Imagine if this had happened like maybe a few years ago when we had to use Skype to meet together. That would have been that would have been something. God, we have this instead. Although part of me did think of firing up Jitsi just for like one last go, one last round, and then I realized no, we should probably actually do use a more stable featuring platform. Thanks, David. Up next, Brian. If you would like to kindly introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Brian, he, him, and I sequence DNA. So I've actually still been going to work because some of our customers are keeping their labs open. Apparently, we think it's not a good time to bring all biology research to a halt. So I don't know what any of my customers are working on, but hopefully some of them are working on something good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping. I didn't know that. Didn't know what you did until now. It's like DNA sequencing. That sounds really cool. That sounds really
glamorous.
Cool.
It's very glamorous.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it sounds really cool. Please don't destroy my illusion of what it sounds like. It's probably looks much cooler in my head than what it actually is. And last but not the least, some would say this man was responsible for this entire campaign, even being a thing, for it coming into being. So, Chris, would you kindly introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Chris. I go by he, him pronouns. I'm just the guy that posted the game request for Bandable as Leandro. So if anyone gets the credit or the blame, I'll take the blame because I started it, but Leandro did the work, so he gets the credit.
Oh, thanks, Chris. I will say that, like, this game, like, the vast majority of it, I'm just getting from the book. Like Strash and John did, like, right, quite. I mean, it's a hefty beast. Like, it's like 100 pages, like bigger than Blades in the Dark. But that does mean, like, yeah, there's a lot to pull from. And shout outs to them. We've had quite a fun time running through this first campaign. Yeah, but we'll save that for later. Any thoughts about the game itself? For now, though, before we jump back into the last mission, I do want to talk about the safety tools that we're using for this game. If you scroll down to in the Roll20 or mine, folks, ignore all those mission selection characters that just showed up. I just made them reappear again because we actually have to go through them to figure out what special missions we did. That's part of final scoring. Yeah, on top of all that, you see we have a character tab for lines and veils. Lines are things that won't be crossed, just won't show up in the fiction at all. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but like we're not gonna concentrate on it. Like it happens happens off screen, or like fast forward over it, or like gets like a sentence or two. Double check what our lines and veils are. Sorry, someone just tried to walk into this room. And also, we've been using the X card for this entire series. Basically, if we do roll into a scene where folks were uncomfortable for any reason, and any reason is perfectly fine. In fact, you don't even have to explain what the reason is. You can say, and it could be anything. It could be like a name or like a detailed scene or like the scene itself. You can say you want to X card that either on our chat or on the video itself. You say make the symbol here, or you want to say just specifically I want to X card X or so. I'm gonna ask some questions on what's being X carded specifically, but no one gets to catch the question if the card is played. If it's played, it happens. We'll respect that. We'll roll back and try something else. And finally, we do have an open table policy. Basically, if we need to like step away from the table for any reason, and again, any reason is perfectly fine. Could be an emergency, might need to take a call, or you might be more tired than you thought and need to step away, or you really need to go to the bathroom or something. You can say you want to pause the game at any time, at any moment, and we will get yourselves comfortable and we'll let you sort yourself out. Okay. Sorry, part of why I'm flustered because Chris mentioned in the chat we should shout out the Roll20 sheet designers, which I've been trying to figure out what the name is again. Because I know the guy who made the initial Blades in the Dark sheet, which is kind of like the template for everything else that everyone's putting on Roll20. His name is Jacob. Just trying to figure out his last name. I'll do a shout out at the end for sure. I'll find it out in the break. I'm not gonna. Let's not cog up this time before we start. Seriously, shout out to them. This Roll20 sheet is amazing and has been a bacon saver for our campaign. All right, so last time y'all went up to the mountains. Y'all did some stuff. Y'all saw some stuff. Y'all persevered through the odds. Again, just like an uncanny knack of the Legion to just just do well when we zoom the camera onto them. But now we're kind of at the last stretch. Before we get into the last mission, which is holding the second wave, and we bring to bear our squad of incredibly stressed soldiers. Let's sort out that last that project, reinforcing the ramparts and gates. I'll turn to you, Brian, and I guess we'll roll first, and then we'll zoom in and see how Melislav and his squad have been doing. This is kind of important as well, because if you complete this project before this last mission, which I think you'll do, you'll have enough dice for that, you will get an extra die for engagement into this last mission. So, yeah.
Yes. So I know somebody suggested some alchemical treatments for the gates and whatnot to resist the acids and whatnot. So I think that's part of what they're doing. And then that was a good suggestion. And then they're also, I think now it's about most of the construction stuff is done, so they're just kind of making sure ammunition, spots to go and resupply or ammo or food or everything. Things are just distributed, and how things are going to be delivered to the people at the front by the people working in back. Running drills, all the laborers, even when the siege is when there's an attack, there's call the battle stations, and even if you're a cook or something for the Legion, you've got a job to do during the fight, supporting the actual people fighting. So there's running drills and all that. So just everyone's ready to go when the time comes.
Hell yeah. All right. So let's see. We got a shout out to Melislav coordinating all that.
And I think I just have one bonus die for the laborers.
Yes.
And I think if we just don't fail this roll, we'll have filled the clock.
Yeah, you have 2 slices left. So if you somehow, the highest is a 1 to 3, which it's not, it's a 6.
We got a 6.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I think the castle is about as set as you can be, as it can be, for this second wave. I think even amidst the spitters are doing their artillery spitfire acid attacks. Despite I think it's disseminated amongst the Legion inside the walls that there's a giant clockwork mechanical spider coming its way. Everyone's holding firm. Everyone's firm, and the ramparts and the gates are as complete as they could be. So before we get into the engagement, well, I want a very, very quick shot from each of you of the command staff you play. Just one little shot, kind of as they hear this horrible whirring clockwork sound and the pitter patter of 8 feet on the ground. Um,
I think the commander, Valentina Sashanovich, I think as the noise starts, like she basically comes out of the command tent and hits the top of the wall, and she starts. I think you can see her like start directing people and shouting orders to for people to man particular defenses and yelling something about getting the artillery trained on that thing.
hell yeah. Meanwhile, the artillery up in the mountains are like trying to fight off a horrible corpse wolf. Yeah, all these missions are happening simultaneously.
Yeah, Violet Growling Storm or Quartermaster. I think you see just all of her beautifully preserved supplies just being like taken up, like the supply carts have been like taken apart to like reinforce the gates, and yeah, just all the food and Blackshot and everything just like being distributed out to all these places. And it's probably not much for her to do because it's kind of her job has been done. So
Makes sense.
I think the marshal is maybe on higher ground, maybe up in not quite the top of that top tower, and is watching for any kind of signals, anything that he can see from up there, and keeping track of his rosters and who he sent where, and is caught a little unawares at the sound of the approaching horrors.
Yeah, and the lawkeeper, Aswina Chabati, is already sort of up on the ramparts of the castle, ready to hold back the thing. And I think that she kind of sees the creature approaching, swears and sort of ducks down behind the fortification on the wall, and just sort of murmurs towards the soldiers around her. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like things are going to get interesting.
I'm looking at the squad. It's like, are there even like, oh yeah, the Recruiting Ravens. I was looking to see if there's a squad that hasn't been assigned like to a mission, and yeah, the Ravens. So there's not actually that many soldiers. Anyway, all right. So just to recap, we assigned who's going to. I don't know. Let me recap the mission, which is hold the second wave. Fight off a lieutenant and its undead at the walls. Your chosen will take the field. Make a 10-step clock for the chosen lieutenant as they clash. The undead will attempt to scale the walls and get in. If the Ramparts and Gates mission is complete, add +1 die to your engagement roll, assign 1 unit and up to 3 specialists. We have assigned our Silver Stags, our squad who's probably lost the most. At least lost a significant amount at the start of this campaign, and now they've come out kind of swinging with all these soldiers, although they're all really heavily stressed, led by basically our heavy hitter, our our main warrior up against these undead lieutenants and whatnot. Our heavy Landgrave Farah. Yeah, so just for I kind of figured probably who's playing who, but I should ask who's playing who.
I kind of like to see how Farah does if no one else wants to jump in with that.
I think I might put together one of these rookies. Yep, I'm going to be one of the rookies.
Ooh, interesting.
Cool. I might jump in with a rune again if no one else has any particular desire to do so.
I guess I will take everyone's favorite, Theonin.
Why did we validate his his boasts? And he can even do one assist. Like he has one stress box that's free, so he can do one assist. Okay.
But he is a survivor, so even if he traumas out, he's still got plenty time to go.
Oh yeah, he's got plenty. And you may use grit uses to push yourself, which is really good. Okay, so I'll give you like a moment to pick load. This is, it doesn't say, but this feels like an assault mission. I really don't see how it's not an assault. If you're head on, you're defending.
The quartermaster will go ahead and give everyone black shot and religious supplies.
Oh yes, you do have that curdled blood relic, which I've not used yet, but like now will be the time. Keeps going. Yeah.
We can distribute the use of curdled blood and actually fire oil, since we're defending the walls, could also be quite useful.
I guess this is when we see like the quartermaster's like supplies getting like pillaged, because there's no point like hoarding stuff when if you might die. So
yeah.
Okay, let me make an 8-step clock again. I'm annoyed I don't have a 10-step clock. Okay. Give me a minute. Dan, is your rookie up and ready? All right, cool. Is everyone good to go? Picked your load. So no one's going light. Yeah, I figured. Okay. It's nice. It's nice you do have at least one rookie. That doesn't mean that like Violet Dancereath or the soldier won't be here, although she can't help you like we use staying in because she is all stressed out. Fair enough. Okay. I guess there's just we're just gonna go to the engagement roll then.
All right. Let's see here. Everyone on the mission is oath sworn to the Legion. As far as I know, we still don't have any intel to spend to get an extra die. I messed this up. Not everyone is a specialist or soldier. No one has any reason to distrust leadership or fear such that they would not obey orders on the battlefield. And I believe we have the appropriate specialist and equipment on the mission, yeah? And this is an assault mission. Does that sound right? Okay. And we are equipping Blackshot. And is anybody starting wounded? Ooh. Oh, good deal. All right. So that is 2 die plus an extra die for finishing the gates and the ramparts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you'll start off fine. See, you start off fine. You still roll the 6 because is that not always the case? You're rolling a 6. Okay, so I think when we had that cut, we had that shot of like when we had the last session with like Shabarti looking out into out, and you can see like the mechanical spider. I think we then cut to like you're at the ramparts. You are at if I poke at the exact spot here in this picture, Skydagger Keep. I think you're not exactly above the gates. And actually, you know what? No, they might place Farah right above the gates. I think you're all kind of like there. Like everyone else is gone to like do sneaky missions, you know, up in the mountains to rig some stuff, to rig siege weapons. The lower pass. I think you probably heard the wails of Whaler getting cut off, and you're like, cool. And then remember we had that like moment at the end of Flood's mission when you heard the horrible clockwork whirring, and then you see like this patchwork spider is like coming up, and like it's like you can see part of it are clearly like metal and gears and wire, but it looks like, you know, organic stuff, like flesh has been like kind of like knitted over it to make it kind of look like an organic thing, but you can tell like the flesh has been rotting, and it's like badly sewn, and it's stretching as this thing is like moving. I'm imagining this thing is like slightly larger than an elephant. It's not like, you know, a Wild West style giant spider, but it's like clearly it's like big enough to like siege the wall, siege the gate. And actually, for some reason it's coming to me. Does anyone remember the movie like Attack of the Eight-Legged Freaks? It's nope, never mind. All right, there's a bit where like there's a giant tarantula that shows up, and basically it's a cheesy 90s movie about a small desert town that gets attacked by giant spiders. Anyway, it's fun. It's campy. Anyway, so slightly larger than an elephant. Clearly, it's like a big battering ram, and I think you'll see like up in its flanks is like the bulk of like Blighter's forces. There's like you see like just like these squads of like rotters being led by doctors, being led by horrors. There you actually see some horrors clinging to its back are spitters. They're like kind of like trying to train up at you, and it's trying to like it's like not indiscriminate artillery fire. Actually, no, they're the ones shooting the fire into the inside of Skydagger Keep, or at least to its inner parts. Or at least trying to. And like they're all coming like a big wave at you. And I think I'll give you a moment to like do the usual thing. Describe your character, their demeanor as they like face in the face of this wave of this upcoming force that's just gonna smash into them.
So Arun is kitted out in like bulkier, heavier armor than we've seen him in before. It's I'm kind of imagining like that, almost sort of the kind of early modern like breastplate, but probably no. His arms, I don't think, are armored because he's got to keep his hands free for throwing. Got to keep his arms free for throwing grenades, and he does have like a big bandolier across his chest with a couple of grenades hanging off of it, as well as the big satchel over his back with more serious explosive devices in it. He's probably crouched down at like a the bit the shootout of in the ramparts, and I think he's got that kind of. He kind of looks cheerful is probably not quite the right word, but he looks in fairly good spirits, though probably it's at least in part a show. But he kind of is sort of saying, well, looks like this is it. And it's just generally trying to sort of keep people's morale up a bit.
I think you kind of see Farah sort of moving out front with. I think Theonin is the other heavy, right? He went full heavy when he has he made the transition yet?
No, I think it's only Zaya who.
Okay. So he's still a soldier, but he's almost heavy. Is kind of where he was. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we see Farah basically talking to Theonin because she figures like he's going to be up there with her, frontlining it, and so I'm like, this is where we stop them, that spider thing, and if we can keep everything else out of the way and off of her, and if we can toss a few grenades at that spider thing's legs, like whatever we can do to help, we'll do that. But our main job is to keep these things off of the keep while the Chosen does theirs. So we're the line. If they break through us, they're going to hit the wall and they're going to go over it. Like they'll build ladders out of their own corpses if they have to. We can't let them past here. I think she like cuts a line in the sand.
Yeah, and I think Theonin, I guess reflecting that he's at 5 out of 6 stress at the moment, is less convincing maybe than usual in his confidence, but still is like, well, if we're for the last line of the Legion, the Legion's in luck. As I said, they picked the right soldier. But you see, he looks tired.
You muted Dan.
And Vani Kapatia, a slender boy in a heavy armor, shoulders past his other rookie friend and says, "So we're doing muskets, or I got an axe. If you need an axe, what are we starting with? Muskets. I'll start with muskets. Okay."
I think your other rookie friend, who we'll give a name in a moment, is kind of like, yeah, we'll only use axes if they get up to the walls. You think they'll get up there? To where we are?
No, nah. We'll be fine. Everything's fine. And he has his reliquary in his other hand from his musket and is continually fiddling with it.
I think like when you say that we'll be fine, you all hear like the cry of an eagle, just kind of like zooming like from where the sun would be, although it's winter, so it's a bit dark. But like just zooming from up from the sky, just from like cloud view, and eagle is flying straight towards the spider, and I think around 10 feet above the spider, it just transforms into this gigantic bear. And with the with the momentum of it from falling, the bear smashes into the spider and kind of like starts and kind of like smashes to the side. And it kind of like smashes through a bit of Blighter's forces on their left flank, what looks like to your right. And I think what as that kind of happens, the forces on Blighter's right, which is to your left, kind of like see that and just kind of start, and they will start running towards the walls. You're in a controlled position. You can see them coming, and the spider for the moment is out of commission. So I've put 2 clocks on the map. They are competing clocks. One of them is for victory, and one of them is for defeat. You know which clock to fill, and these are 10-step clocks. I know they're 8 at the moment because that's my bad. I got the wrong roll 20 assets way back, but yeah, they're both 10-step clocks. And yeah, the lieutenant is in the spider. You'll hear Victoria Carhow's voice. It's a bad day for lieutenants, for human lieutenants in Skydagger Keep. Because last time you saw Victoria Carhow, well, it wasn't really even her. It was like a puppet of hers that exploded in Farah's face. But yeah, you'll hear her like cry out. She sounded really bored when you last met her, but this is the one time like you hear her like shout out like genuine emotion, and her voice is like coming from the spider. And then I think you'll see that it's starting to grapple with your chosen, with the horned one, the chosen, the horned one, as the horned one's like, smashing it with its with her bare paws, roar. But but you see that like, yeah, a good number of like horrors up front with a lot of like rotters behind them are like heading up towards like during the walls. There's like two horror. Actually, no, there's one horror up front, and it's just a regular one, big, made up of multiple bodies. There's like a pack of rotters right behind it, and you can tell that like they're gonna do as like one of these suggested, which is they're gonna try to create a pile, like just pile up on each other, and behind it is like this other horror just kind of like standing back, and you can see that like spitters are clinging to its back. While the chosen and the other lieutenant, the Victoria Carl, are in the melee there. But yeah, this one horror is coming up to you. There's the chosen in a fight there. What do you do? Go on, Chris.
I think I'd like to do like a minimal flashback scene, because we've known they were going to come up this way this whole time, and we have explosives.
Yeah.
And Farah actually enjoys doing this. She's good at it, and I think we've set up some explosive pitfalls that are triggered. That we have a few that are rigged for the smaller ones, but we have a couple that are only rigged for the big ones. Like the smaller ones can run across them, but when the big ones hit them, they trip it.
Nice.
So that's kind of what I'm looking to set up. Maybe do a coordinated action with Rec.
Yeah, that sounds cool. I think if did you lead everyone, the whole Silver Stags, into doing this, you think?
I've only got 3 stress. I definitely want a rune on there because he's a grenadier. He's an explosives expert, so I need him. Does anyone else have dice and Rec? Theonin? Okay. So let's do a rune and Theonin.
Mm-hmm.
Sure thing.
I packed my fine rec kit.
Nice. So this is going to be controlled great, for sure.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. We'll go with. I'll do Rec first. I've got 3 dice. So
You don't want to push
I'm-
yourself or anything.
No, not yet. Not yet. I mean, I'm going to push myself eventually, but I want to use that when it really counts.
Oh, yeah, you can only do it once.
Right, and I have War Machine, so whenever we engage is when I want to do it because I want to lower threat levels to give everybody a solid chance. Okay. All right. So let's roll rec here. Let's see how it goes. We're in controlled with great effect, right?
Mm-hmm. Literally the best roll you can make. Oh my god. Well, there you go.
Okay. Let's see. Did mine show up yet? No.
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, wait. One more thing.
There we go. So you got a 6, but Arun's failure does like give you a stress.
Okay, that's okay. I can take one stress. That
Okay.
leaves me still. That means me still enough to do my push later on.
Okay, so
and yeah, I would say I will use up my explosive charges, obviously, as sort of part of doing that thing, to give us the raw materials to work from.
nice. So I think so it's a controlled grade. You tell me what it looks like when this like initial like horde kind of like tries to start setting up their mechanisms.
I think you have what they wanted to do first. I think is to overwhelm us with sheer numbers because they know numbers is where we're vulnerable. Like they've got lots and lots of squirrely little dead things to throw at us, and there's not as many of us. So they thought they would send in their light units first. Like so, you have a charge of these flailing blight. What do we call them? Rotters, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So these rotters just running up and flailing with those claw-like hands in like say like 30 or 40 yards in front of where we've set our line. Our musketeers pop off a couple of shots, just not, don't really do a whole lot to take out that kind of horde. It's just you're poking a rhinoceros with needles, just not doing anything. But when they hit that first line of the light traps, I think they trip, they fall, they hit them, and boom. I think you have like that whole first wave gets like chopped up. Now they've got tons of them still left, I'm sure. No, I mean there's probably they're effectively probably endless for this purpose. But that first wave, boom. Maybe there's a few like still crawling around without legs, but that's what the first wave hits, and then I think the big ones, a few of the early charging big ones, sort of start to trip those the heavy traps, and some of them get taken down by the heavy traps. So they're basically we've thinned the herd significantly that's coming at us. It's still huge and maybe insurmountable, but we've made them regret underestimating the defenses.
Yeah, you're essentially keeping yourself in a controlled position, is what you're doing, which is a good position to be in. I think this is. I'm gonna pull up no, actually not a sip clock. Another 8-step clock. This is gonna be the second wave. I'm gonna say you're gonna add 2 ticks to that, and you've added 1 tick to the victory clock. Just kidding. It's a great is like 3 ticks, so I'm just spreading that out. Basically, this 8-step clock for the second wave is like if you inflict enough casualties to the second wave, I think you'll clear the field to like at least keep them off you, or like you deal enough casualties to make them pull back, because as much as undead as they are, they're still like assets, units, and Blighter's not gonna like just offer them up as they go, or at least have you chewed through all of them. But I think you got a moment to breathe, and I think you see that like you see the bear kind of like jump back a bit. It's got some cuts to it, but the bear's doing fine. It's a giant bear with like antlers, just weird. You hear like the kind of like mangled whirring of the spider as it gets back up into like an upright position. And I think it just kind of like lunges forward, in a way a jumping spider would. And I think it jumps forward and the bear kind of like jumps back, but it's like right in front of y'all. And imagine yourself up at the walls, and I think you see somewhere underneath, like you see like a faint glimmer. At least maybe you see Victoria Carhall like underneath like some of those like flesh flaps. Ugh, that's a bad combination of words. For sure, and it's almost like the initial like those charges of kind of like they're they're a bit wary at the moment, and you can see them kind of like fanning around and trying to find to see if there are any more like charges left. Well, like I guess you and like the squad are kind of like up the walls, being like, yeah, we got some fight in us. Yeah, so you're still in a controlled position. Like, not stopping anybody from jumping down there and getting to the melee, but maybe don't do that. But your chosen's doing fine. You're also in a control position. You're doing quite well, Legionnaires. What's your next party trick? It's a bit tricky because like you're all still in control of the situation. Nothing bad's happening yet.
Well, I think like maybe somebody wants to shoot at them from the walls or something. Since we're up on the walls and kind of watching them run into the traps, maybe a couple of pot shots at the people that are trying to run around the traps, sort of herd them a little, maybe.
Yeah, I can do that or lead that. I think that's a totally reasonable thing. I think singular first at some of the smaller units, and yeah, that's I think that's what, outside of other orders, that's what Vani is going to do.
All right. I think okay, cool. What are you rolling with?
Shoot.
Okay. Yeah, this is kind of like, well, like help keep the wave, like, flatten the wave, so to speak.
Yeah.
All right. So you're still controlled. Let's see. You're using a musket, so you started off with limited, but you are using black shot.
Yes.
Okay, so it ups your effect and it'll up to like standard. Yeah, and these are rotters. They're a threat. Like,
right.
Fine. Do you want to push yourself or take a devil's bargain?
Let's take a. Well, tell me what a devil's bargain might look like.
Instead of doing the thing where, like, fill up the clock, because that's too easy. You see at the back, that horror that has like a spitter clinging to its back. You see the horror has now taken the spitter into its hands and looks like it's about to throw the spitter at you.
That's really cool, and I don't like it, but I want to see it. So I will take that devil's bargain.
Okay. All right. Get an extra die.
Okay. One extra die, and there we go. And pretty good.
Yeah, see, you do it with a 6. So, like, yeah, Jesus. Tell me what this looks like. Like, is Vani like, cool, calm, collected, or is just like, or is there like a bit of emotion leaking through as he's kind of like making sure these rotters are kind of like discombobulated?
I think he is. He's got a couple dots in shoot, so I think he feels a bit in his element. He's just trying to keep his breathing calm as he looses, we'll say, a couple rounds of black shot, and aims specifically at rotters who are bypassing our traps.
Yeah, actually, now I think about it, rotters are level 1, so you should like start at, because your legionnaires are like level 1. You should start it at standard, so that should have been great. Because backshot, will increase the effect. So I think we'll do the same thing. I think it's gonna be 1 tick to chosen v lieutenant. Will that defeat clock ever tick? I don't know. You are doing really well. And 2 ticks to the second wave because it's primarily directed at the second wave. Yes. But yeah, I think like Vani and everyone like will see like Vani's doing really well. Like not a missed shot, and the rotters are kind of just exploding amongst themselves. I think there's even a moment where you see like a a doctor in the melee, and you just like bang. I think you hit it straight at the tip of the beak, and it just smashes through uh, through the mask. And when doctors kind of fall, or crows, sorry, not doctors. Doctors are specific, infamous, that y'all defeated. But crows, when they kind of fall, the rotters that they're in charge of kind of like go loose, go feral. And so I think that's kind of what's happening. But you see that horror holding holding the spitter as if like a missile and will launch towards probably around where Thaden is. I guess let's get Thaden involved. So I think yeah, it flies more a very ungainly, like unaerodynamic, slab of meat that's been flung into the air. So I think when it kind of like it lands with like this like sickening sort of splat, like probably around, let's look at the map here, near, definitely like near you. And as soon as it's there, it stands up. And to remind folks who might be listening to this what spitters look like, they are like these tall, almost elongated like corpses that are even wrapped in like these metal this black like bands, so like mummy like, so like their hands are not free, but their mouths have like elongated, like distended, and it's constantly like drooling out these acidic spit. And as I think as soon as like that stands up, you see that like out there in the second wave, you see horrors are like looking around at their units, thinking like, oh, what can we throw? It's almost making me wish I picked the gut sack ability, so they'd be throwing actual bombs. But yeah, I think like the spitter is now like on your ramparts with you, and it's just constantly like, and it's just like it's gabbing its mouth, like just like this, like throwing out spit. I would turn to either like Thanen or Arun, probably Thanen, because I've not seen him do anything yet, besides help with Farah. Oh,
Yes, as soon as Thanen saw it in the air, he was kind of trying to gauge where it was going to land and was running to get himself in between it and anybody else. And yeah. I mean, he doesn't want to be at range with it because it's a spitter. He wants to get up in its face, block its spit, and smash it with his. What does he have? I think he has a mace. Or no. Yeah, I guess the mace, that big hammer in the image we have for him would be his heavy weapon, which I didn't bring.
Hell yeah.
So shield to try to, get the shield in its face and then bash it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What are you rolling with?
Skirmish.
Cool. You are in a control position. Let's see. The spitter is a threat 2, so you would start it at limited, but because you have a fine. Oh, you didn't bring the fine heavy weapon. You brought the shield. Okay, interesting.
Well, I have my fine hand weapon.
Oh, you have a fine hand weapon. Okay, cool. I think like heavy would have put up the great, but I think with a hand weapon, you'll bring you up to stand. I see Thanen is more into defending people bit rather than just take glory. Interesting choice with the shield. Yeah, I think that will put you up to like controlled standard. This is a negotiation. Feel free to argue if it goes up to great.
That sounds right.
Okay. All right. So, do you want to take a devil's bargain?
Oh, what would the devil's bargain be?
I think now you're the spitters distracted you enough that like I think no 2 ticks to the defeat clock. just so we can get actual ticks in it. No, come on, 2 ticks will be fine.
No.
You are starting a controlled standard, I guess, with like.
All right. Do I want to?
Anyone helping? I guess that's the question. The only one who can help
Yeah,
really is Bonnie.
I'll take an assist. Otherwise, I'm just gonna roll it.
Yeah, I could offer some help. I think maybe having seen the pitch from that horror, Vati has been leading the spitter as it flies through the air and finds it next to his squad mate Theonin.
Okay, all right. Take a stress, and then you get an extra die. All right, let's see this.
That's a
Controlled
6.
standard. Yeah, oh, Jesus Christ. Geez, it just keeps happening. Yeah, I think you wouldn't kill off the spitter here at the moment, but I think you will drive it. You will toss it off the ramparts at the moment. What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think he charges in close enough that it tries to spit at him, and he just is able to completely block that off with the shield and come in and just bam, hit it in the side, knock it off balance, and then just continuing the forward momentum with the shield to just push it off the edge.
Hell yeah. Jesus, you're all doing incredibly well. I'm gonna add another tick to the victory clock and a tick to the second wave clock. Because standard's 2 ticks, I'm just separating these out. Jesus. Yeah. What am I gonna do now? So yeah, the spitter has been tossed off, and blah, 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 all that noises. But I think as it kind of stands, you see that like the undead are kind of like they've suddenly become less cautious. They're like, wait, no, we don't care about this. We're dead. We don't care about explosives. So they are just kind of like, they've gone back to like, bum rushing through. And I think as the spitter's standing up, you see that like the horror that threw it and a very badly mangled horror that got hit by the explosion. Like its left hand is like just a mess. It lumbers towards like the wall and it's about to set itself up. What do you do? Like set itself up as like a platform for like things to climb all over it.
So I think Arun is going to kind of look over the ramparts. And I think again, like Vanny, he's probably been taking some pot shots at things with his musket up until this point. But I think he sees this sort of gathering below. And I think he's going to wait for a couple of rotters to climb up onto this, and then he's going to pull out a grenade and drop it over the wall.
Hell yeah! What are you rolling with?
I think that's probably going to be wreck, as there's no real finesse to this. It's just trying to, put a hole in them.
Hell yeah! That is going to be controlled. And I think this is going to be great effect because that's grenade against a bunch of rotters who are not like, of all the ground troops, they're not the best of any of the brokens. Like Render was here, like they'd be wearing armor and whatnot, but here these are just like, I mean, the explosion could like catch you with like horrible alchemical nonsense, but like that means they're not that well made. So yes, this is going to be great effect.
Sure thing. Do you have a devil's bargain? I'm certainly willing to listen to one.
Yes, I think the devil's bargain is going to be that like, you see horrors at the back are now gathering up clumps of rotters. Some of them with like a crow on top of them, they just start throwing at you. But devil's bargain said you're going to be in a risky position.
Yeah, go on. I think things have been fairly controlled up until this point, so I'm happy to go with that.
Yeah, let's add a bit of complication. Sure, why not? But you will start with controlled, great, and then we will jump into risky once this roll is done. So you get an extra die. Oh my god. Don't worry, it's from a controlled position, which is not the worst. Okay, so let me go back again to actual summary. That's always good to read out. On a controlled 1 to 3, you're blocked or you're falter. Press on by seizing a risky opportunity, which I guess if it piles on, honestly, I don't know if it'll stack with the devil's bargain I just gave and just put you straight to desperate, um, or withdraw. I think. Okay, here's how you know like it's suddenly even riskier. You like hold the grenade that and the rotor is almost toward your face. Like they suddenly gotten faster, as if like silent command has just told them, no, we gotta get this done. And you can see like one of them is like near arm's length to you, and I think like, and you can see like it's rearing up to like jump this like horrible like rotor. And I think you notice as well that like this rotor looks really old, like, well, not old, but like somehow this has been like at the start of the campaign, whatnot. And again, you can see like it's wearing like Legionnaire colors as it's like trying to grab at you.
Cool.
Do you want to press on?
I will indeed. And yeah, and I think it's probably fair if that's a desperate roll for me, because otherwise the devil's bargain doesn't feel like it's achieved much otherwise. So
yeah, I think like, all right, instead of an arm's length, it is like it's near face to face with you. So dropping a grenade, you will be near the explosion. So you're gonna have to roll again.
yeah, sure thing.
All right, so you are now at a desperate great. See, this is what happens. Yeah, this happens now when things cascade. Like you're now in a terrible spot. You want another devil's bargain? No, you're fine.
So go on. Let's hear one. If you've got one. If not, no worries. I'm happy to.
I think I'm going to put everyone in a desperate position. And how it looks is like you'll see like the bear kind of like jump back from the spider, and suddenly it gets surrounded by a bunch of like rotters and horrors trying to like bring it down, and the spider turns away from it and looks like it's gonna rear to not assail the walls but jump at the ramparts. That's how you're gonna be in a desperate position, the entire squad, because right now only you are in a desperate position.
Yeah. I don't think I will take that one. I think I'll see what happens with
You're
this
rolling
this roll
die.
first.
You're
Yep.
rolling
Yep.
one die. Okay.
I figure I've got to get something above a 4 at some point today, so it might be this roll.
Who knows? Let's see. Desperate grade. Oh my god. That's a 6. Jesus. Yeah. So I'll let you narrate this. This what looks like an old comrade of yours is like just, and you can tell that like from its pores, it's like a chemical fluid is almost kind of like bursting out of it. As it's like tries to like grab at you face to face.
Yeah. So I think that like Arun's startled for a moment as this thing grabs at him, but he sort of grabs back and manages to get a hand onto its onto its shoulder, and is sort of pushing it back from the wall, so it's struggling to keep balance, and it has nothing to sort of gain purchase on, and as it goes to grab for him, he at the last minute brings up the grenade, so the rotter grabs onto it rather than onto Arun, and he lets go, and it falls down and explodes amongst its compatriots.
Hell yeah. So I think as the spider kind of like rears up, it gets kind of caught up in an explosion, and it just kind of like jumps back. So 1 tick to victory and 2 ticks to second wave. I think that makes sense, as you kind of like thwarted your attempts to scale the walls again. We've been here for like an hour, so let's take a 5-minute break to come back quarter past. yeah, so stretch your legs, and like I'll try to figure out more ways to try to to up the ante. But like, Jesus Christ, you never bet against the legion. That's what that means. So let me pause the recording. I'll see you all in 5 minutes. All right, we're back on our big epic last session of Band of Blades. Legion is doing incredibly well, stupendously well. So let's set the scene again. So this big explosion has kind of like knocked back again. There's whatever ladder that this not really ladder, more like pile that the undead are trying to make, and does also knock back this like flesh mechanical spider thing, enough for again your chosen to like kind of like jump forward and kind of like just grab it by its like I don't know, what do you call the butt of a spider, whatever that thing is. Yeah, okay, let's not get into spider anatomy, I guess. And kind of like just thorax, there we go, yes, around the thorax. Thanks, Chris. And like the spider's like whirring, and you can hear like the gears going as like it's trying to like break free from your chosen's grasp. But yeah, you're all doing really fine. Just for anyone who's listening, how the clocks are going. The second wave clock is 2 ticks away from completing, which means that like you basically like knock them back enough that like they're either gonna leave. They're gonna try to retreat, but I think the lieutenant is gonna be thoroughly still be mixing up with the chosen to like not be able to retreat as easily. For the victory clock, chosen versus lieutenant, you are 5 ticks away from completing that, and it kind of like finishes it. And the 10-step defeat clock has not had a single tick on it, because there has been exactly 1 failure in this entire melee of dice rolls, which is really fab. So yeah, so for the moment, again, walls are clear. You've dropped the spitter. You kind of push them back again. You're seeing that like the spider is almost like desperately flailing to get to the gates. I'll turn to Farah again, because like so we just had a flashback with her. What do you do?
Let's see. The devil's bargain that we had earlier about the horrors starting to grab and fling globs of or giant handfuls effectively of rotters at the wall and at the ramparts.
Mm-hmm.
That happened, right? So they've started doing that.
I think actually no, I think the devil's bargain was like for one was like to throw that spitter, and the other one was like to put Arun in a risky position. I think it looks like they're starting to do that, but so that hasn't happened yet. But it looks like they're trying to form up. But again, you've been pushed back for the fire. But I think you see them. They're grabbing like clumps of like rotters, and they are kind of about to throw them out. There are some spitters that are like shooting, but they're mostly aiming towards the back of you, towards the rest of Skydagger Keep. So I think you know what, I'm just gonna make a GM move. I think they are you see them, they are just about to fling like all these rotters. I think you'll see them as they're like flying in the air, but like I'll let you like act on what happens before they land. There's like just clumps of them. You know how in the and for viewers, if you jump back to that mission where the avalanche and all those rotters are being thrown at you as well, then you realize they weren't like catapults. They were being thrown by these horrors.
Okay. I think what Farrah is going to do is she is going to basically direct the rookies to take shots at the at those horrors that are throwing, going basically for arms and shoulders, and I think what she's going to try and do, I think this is probably going to be more of a wreck than anything, is she's going to take the remainder of her fine wrecking kit, and she's going to try and basically attach it to a javelin or something, and just launch it at where most of those horrors are, and see if she can basically sow some chaos back there.
Nice. The rare Farah shoot roll.
Yeah. Well, it's. I mean, I'm not sure.
Oh, it's
I'm not
wrecked.
sure.
It's wrecked.
Yeah, I think it's wrecked because basically she's not trying to. She's telling the rookies to target arms and shoulders, but like she just wants to lob a bunch of explosives back there, and the only way she can really do that is to tie them to something.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that like because wreck is kind of like I think that will like make sure that like explosive wise it's gonna do really well. So I think that'll up your effect.
I have a fine wrecking kit.
Yes,
So.
the thing is that like it's the getting to it that kind of like, that will affect the effect for sure because your shoot's not well. Actually, no, everyone's kind of like the same wise in terms of like training. So I'm gonna say because of the getting there, normally it'd be great, but because you have to throw it and it's a bit of a ways away, it's gonna bring it down to like standard. It's still controlled standard.
Okay.
You can trade position for effect if you want. You can go risky great.
Let's see. I'll go risky great because like maybe basically the threat would be like basically if she's concentrating on flinging this thing back there, basically she might catch a handful of rotters if things go badly, something like that.
Yeah, risky great. Is anyone assisting? I know you have 3 rec, but like
what I don't know if anybody's in a position to assist right now with stress wise unless it's the rookie.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take you up on shooting arms and shoulders. I think I don't know if that counts as assisting.
I think it helps. Little bit, every distraction can help if you're willing to spend the stress.
Yeah, can do.
And I think if I activate like my war machine ability to perform a feat of physical strength that verges on the superhuman to literally lob this thing across this battlefield. Would that give me let me reduce the threat levels of the enemies by 1 or?
The thing is you have to either choose perform a feat of physical force or reduce the threat level of enemies. That's one or the other.
Would you said it would reduce my effect to throw it, so we've calculated that part in. Can I use the push instead to reduce the threat level?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That means that like the lieutenant's going to go down from 4 to 3 as well. If you want to engage them at some point.
Well, every little bit helps. I'm hoping we'll eventually be in a position to assist the chosen directly if we manage to fill that other clock.
Yeah. So
okay. So I'm going to push to do that, and that's going to add another die to my roll.
Mm-hmm.
So
so
a risky
great.
Great with 1 extra bonus die or 2 extra bonus die.
Yeah.
Because I got the assist.
Mm-hmm. Jesus. Yeah, of course it is. It's a critical. Of course it is.
Yes.
Of course it is. Okay. Jesus. All right. So that's
so I think Farah like howls out some ancient legion battle cry as she like spins around to give it almost like a discus style throw on that thing, and it hurtles out there and I guess hits it almost perfectly.
Yeah, I think like as soon as like it's even there, like it's just a big explosion. I think that will kind of like scatter that back line for sure. And I think you throw it in such a way that like it doesn't even affect your chosen, who's kind of like nearer to there. But like I think that will disorientate them like long enough for sure. And I think that fills up the second wave clock for sure. And I think I'll also add another tick to this victory clock. Jesus, so I think that puts you back in a controlled position, all of you, as I think everyone sees like Farah just throw it and like boom, it's like a gout of fire, and I think you kind of see like even like the alchemical fluids that Blighter's been using, they like caught fire, and it's like this brilliant glow. And I think like there's a moment where like the spider kind of like stops, and I think you see like from its back Victoria Carhall like pop up. She looks at the back at the fire that you've made of her forces, and then she looks at you, Farah, and you've seen her before. She blew up your sword that one time, and like you see like her face just like contort into like this horrible sort of fury, as like she kind of like just grabs something for like underneath the spider, kind of like pulls, and like the spider just starts almost like, and it looks horrible. It's like a herky jerky, far too fast stop motion like effect as the spider starts to like jump to just like run towards like the gates, but it's trying because the chosen is still kind of clinging to it, and the bear is just like roaring as like it's a push and pull. Yeah, you're now you're still in you're back in the control position. The lieutenant has kind of been like isolated from her forces. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, honestly. She's just right there. Jesus. What do you do? I think let's turn to a rookie. We haven't seen. He's mostly been assisting.
Yeah, that's why he's here. I think. Let me see here. I don't know if I know what I'm doing here. I think our rookie is going to try and lead the other rookie and I guess the unplayed soldier in shooting. No, well, they're not. I think he's going to give them shooting training while he is aiming at the legs of this spider monstrosity. Is that is the spider monstrosity still up and going?
Yeah. Like Harhal
Okay.
is still trying to like make it work. What's you played Violet? What's her reaction to this rookie giving her shooting advice?
I don't know that she's great at shooting. I mean, I'm sure she's not that thrilled with it, but she's really into she is really into us being a communal colony of ants that all help each other. So why not?
I'm trying to remember like how do you roll for like just we're like not played. Because like I remember like there's a paragraph in the book of rolling for like rookies that aren't played, which we've not used.
If this is too complicated, or
no,
if this
it's not like, but I do want to do this right. I like you like you're this rookie leading the the fire for effects. I suppose I just want to get it right, because like I know this is the last session that I should have gotten right back then. Like I just want to be sure that's meant.
What's the question? We're not.
Actually, you know what? No, I think. No, I think you're fine. I think we would just go with shoot. Or is this like a marshal or consort or? Actually, no. It's up to you. What are you rolling with?
He's going to roll with consort. It might not be the most effective way, but it's what he's got.
Yeah, I think you're in a control position, but because you're the rookie trying to tell the soldier, I think it's probably like, yeah, it's gonna be a bit limited, I'd say. But I think and you're already facing Lieutenant, who's like level 3, so I think it will just stay at limited unless you like push yourself to like get better effect or.
I'm going to push myself to get better effect.
Yeah, so you're already at controlled, and your consort I notice is 2. So you're gonna be controlled standard.
Okay.
Okay. And no one's really assisting. No one can assist.
Yeah. Cool. Let's see what we
Oh my God! There's another 6. The sixes
Hey.
never end.
All right, so he leans over and he's like, "No, you gotta steady your breath. It's the breath." And then, hey, Violet, you know all about spiders and bugs and stuff. Tell us what joints to aim at. And it's it's a very chill, like, talk about shooting bugs.
Okay, I think, yeah. Oh my god, you're 2 ticks away from doing this. So I think, yeah, you pinpoint accuracy as like I think you cripple like the first 4 legs, and I think like the limbs just go askew as like suddenly like the spider kind of like slumps forward, um and you can tell like its body's like trying to move forward, and the other 4 back legs are like trying to shift it forward, but again, your chosen is just kind of like ripping bits out of the thorax, just like trying to get to Karhal. And you're 2 ticks away. You're still in a controlled position. Victoria Karhal is a sitting duck. What do you do? Who else haven't gone? Theonin, you've not gone. Or anyone who's got an idea of how to like finish this off. Theonin or Arun. If not, like, I'll open this up to anyone who's got an idea. Oh.
So yeah, I think that having seen like the way open up a bit towards her, I think that Arun is going to start climbing down over the wall and taking this to the field, and I think he's going to throw. I think he's basically going to like start going down, and he's going to kind of get to the bottom of the wall and lob a grenade towards her. I think probably less. He's more just trying to create a distraction, create cover at this point for sort of other people to get in place. So I think probably going for a kind of setup type move.
Okay, so this isn't like going to directly affect Karhal. It is more setup. Okay, cool. What are you rolling with? What's the action?
I think it's probably going to be back to the old wreck again. I don't think anything else is more appropriate here than that. So yeah.
Okay. Anyone assisting? Do you have? Oh yeah, you have one.
I got one.
Box.
Or I could trauma out. You can spend stress that you don't have.
No, it's fine. And also, you've got curdled blood.
But I do have one.
And it's fitting because like we introduced Theonin and Arun together, way back.
Yeah, what the hell? I will assist. I'm just I'm just covering you while you're doing it, so that any half dead rotters that are still lying around aren't grabbing your ankles and whatnot.
Cool.
Do you want to take a devil's bargain?
I think I'm just going to roll this and see what happens.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you've been all of you have been in a row. I counted like there's 7 rolls that had a 6.
Sorry, are we? Did you say we're back at controlled, or is this risky still?
I think you're still in controlled.
Sure thing.
There's not been a failure that's given me option to bump it down, so you're back to controlled.
Cool.
When you did the grenade, it was great effect.
Effect isn't really relevant to her setup, is it?
Yeah. Let's see. You've got a grenade, and she's kind of pinned down, but she's still like a level 3, and you're like level 1. So I think because it's a setup, I think it's gonna be a bit. It's just standard.
Yeah.
Or yeah. Yeah, actually, it doesn't matter. But I would say like standard or limited because you're right. How good a distraction? We'll see. Because you're trying to distract her. So let's say it's standard.
Sure thing.
All right, partial success. You do it, but it's gone. Okay. So on a controlled, there's a hesitation. And here's what you see: the hesitation. That the spider's head, which you can see, is like it looks like it's made up of different spiders. Different spiders' heads kind of sewn together and like stapled together to create like this horrible like monstrosity. And you can see like the eyes are like these weird milky orbs that are kind of like blind. The spider starts kind of like coughing, hacking. It starts doing a golem sort of choking sort of gesture, and you can see like it's starting to hawk up something, and you can see that like there's some sort of ball that's like coming out of its mouth. It looks like it's about to like shoot at you. It's gonna put you in a risky position to do this setup. Anyone who engages the spider is gonna be in a risky position if they engage. That's the complication. Do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. That seems fair.
All right. All right. So I think you describe what this looks like. This distraction, this grenade.
So yeah, I think it's he's trying to keep his head down as he kind of heads along the thing, and and he sort of throws the grenade, and I think it probably explodes like a bit above the spider, so it's not like going to take out any important infrastructure in it or anything like that, or seriously damage Victoria. But I think like the explosion and the shrapnel makes her kind of duck down and take cover. So she's kind of distracted and unable to sort of properly see as other people sort of start to move into position. And I think with that grenade sort of thrown, Arun's probably going to kind of get behind cover, which at this point is probably some deanimated zombies, and start loading his musket.
Hell yeah, you and Theonin can like get behind this like dead horror. His like head has been blown off or something. Stinks, really stinks. Yeah, and I think like that's gonna give increased effect to anyone who like jumps in. Victoria Carhall is out there in the open. Basically, anyone who does an action to like just end this will probably do this if they will success.
I mean, I don't think Theonen's hunkering down. I think he kept going.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
And I don't know that. I don't think Theonen is doing this to like, because he's gonna like smash this giant spider, but he could be enough to just give our chosen, free reign to just smash it. Essentially, is what he's hoping. He knows if their chosen wasn't there, then this would be like a suicide run. But as it is, it's hopefully it goes better than that. That's the plan, and he's set up with those grenades. So,
yeah. What are you rolling with?
Well, I guess just skirmish.
Yeah, it is like
I mean,
get in close combat.
And
you can spend a point of grit to push yourself.
I could. I think I'm actually going to spend my special armor.
Ooh. Wait, can you do that?
The using the Horned God's Thews.
Oh yes. Well, yes. Let me double check, but I think that is. I forgot. Yeah, you do have that ability. You can push yourselves with any prowess action. Yes, there we go.
So this is.
Geez, I forgot we had that. Should have mentioned that at some point. Hell yeah.
And I think I will go ahead and spend my point of anchor.
Oh yeah, you do have one anchor.
Yeah.
That means you're kind of upping your effect.
So I'm as if I was a whole squad charging and doing this.
Okay, so you probably started. Let's see, you're level 1, so it's level 3, and you have what's your weapon? You have something nice, right?
It's
with
the fine
the shield.
fine hand weapon.
Oh, the fine hand weapon. Yes. So that would have bumped you to 2. That would have bumped. Basically, I think it's still going to be standard because you start at 1 and you're up against a 3.
Sure.
But like include the fine
And
hand weapon, pushing yourself.
Like I certainly don't. This thing's big, so like being a whole squad basically just kind of puts it a little more even. Not
but it brings you up to standard for sure. The hand weapon, the setup effect, and the anchor will bring you up to standard. If Farah hadn't lowered its threat level, it would put you to limited. Level 4 is nothing to mess with. But yeah, you're controlled standard.
I thought we were risky.
Oh yeah,
right?
No, they didn't take. David didn't take that Devil's Bargain.
No, that was a consequence.
Oh, it's a consequence. Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Okay, so risky standard.
Yeah, risky standard. Because it's hocking up the thing. I forgot that. Sorry, I'm getting excited because we're close.
I guess that's it. Okay.
Yeah, risky standard. Yeah, it's a 4.
Okay.
I think, you're gonna plunge your blade into this. Oh, actually, let you describe what it looks like as you like attack this spider.
Yeah, it's like a spiked mace, and I think he's just like, he's going for its mobility. He's trying to just go for joints in its legs. Doesn't have to destroy the leg. He just has to dent it at the joints enough that it's slowed down, can't move as well as quickly, and then hopefully the chosen can then just smash it. And
I think
so he does that, but also
let's give you a complication. So on a risky for defeat, you do it, but there's a consequence. You suffer harm, a complication occurs, you have reduced effect. We're at the end of this, so I'm just gonna hit you with a bunch of harm. So I think what it looks like is you're hacking up the limbs and whatnot. And I think your weapon kind of glances at the head, and then you see what it's hacking up, and you see coming out of its mouth is what looks like a heart. It looks like a human heart, but that's kind of inflated, and it looks like there's a bunch of like wires and tubing and clockwork gears stabbed into it, and you hear it ticking, and then it explodes in your face. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
I have Bulwark, so I'd like to spend a use of Anchor to defend the people in my squad, specifically Theonin in this case.
Hell yeah! What does that look like? Did you as he's attacking this, did you jump down as well?
Oh yeah, I think she was coming up as well because she did the throw, so she had to kind of catch up to everybody else. Like as this heart comes up, I think you see a situation similar to what happened when the Carhal robot exploded earlier. Like she leaps in front of Theonin with the fine tower shield, and just sits there and just braces and takes the impact on the tower shield. Like the butt of the tower shield is in the dirt. She's braced against the top, and like she just blunts the impact, and it rebounds and maybe blows up right next to the spider.
Nice. Grace, we got a visitor there. I think the explosion will bounce back. It'll kind of blow apart it will blow, it'll open up the the first half of the spider, and you'll see sitting in its remains, looking very dazed and sweaty and tired, and soot covered, is and you don't know how she was sitting inside this thing, but looking really dazed and shell shocked, is Victoria Carhal. And before she can even do anything, and she reaches in her coat to grab something, I think you feel like this big gust of wind, and like this giant, this, well, not giant, but like this big eagle will kind of like swoop from like behind her and kind of like grab her by her shoulders and just kind of like almost kind of push her forward. So like not fly her up, but like kind of push her forward. So like Carl kind of like lands face first at your feet. Everyone who's there, basically, and she kind of like she kind of like, lands face first, and she kind of like defensively is kind of like curled up. Her hands are like over her head, and it's weird because like you're used to facing undead who just kind of like die or like keep going, but then she's just kind of like, and I think like she's whimpering to herself, basically. So she's at your mercy.
I think Farah looks down at her and she says, "Squad, it's time to do your duty." And she points down at her. And like, if she just basically said, shoot her, whatever. Just we end her.
Yeah. I think like you. So I kind of don't want to do this. Show this in the scene. I think we'll get a shot of like the eagle kind of like back at the ramparts, kind of like, and we kind of like close up like their face as you hear like a shot ring out. I suppose, unless anyone's gonna protest this, but I don't think anyone's gonna protest Farah when she's, in her specialist like command mode. I think like actually we get a shot of the eagle kind of like going back up to the ramparts, and I think the commander is standing there. Maybe she's gonna come out to like see this, and yeah, we kind of like we get like close up shots of like their eyes as this shot rings out. Is that okay? Whew. Okay. Jesus. Oh my God. So I'm gonna count how many action rolls that was and how many sixes that was. Jesus Christ. Let's take another break. Let's give good another 5-minute break. While I upload some scoring charts. Well, not charts, but like some scoring criteria. And then we'll see how Skydagger Keep fares, although you're doing really well. So be back at 5. All right. So welcome back. For anyone who's watching or listening, we just finished our last mission of Skydagger Keep. I'm saying this as if I'm on the radio and there's been a bunch of commercials. People are tuning in, but nope, that's not how this works. I think we kind of like come back to like the shot of like commander kind of like looking down like on the climax of the mission, and then I think like she maybe like puts out like a flare or something, and then we get shots of like the other squads. We get a shot of like Melislav and the Lions just like making sure everything's like set. We get a shot of like Flood and his squad kind of like seeing out in the woods, just killing off like any last stragglers. We see Scarlet and his squad kind of like coming back over the bridge back to the mountain pass, like watching the mountain pass, waiting to like, trigger the right moment. We get a shot of like Zaya and Raya cleaning up, burning the corpse tree, and the cannons being set up. And I think we get like a shot of Farah and the stags kind of like being let back in to the gate, because out in the distance that purple green haze is coming over. You've defeated Carhal's like group, but Blighter herself is coming. This is it. A broken assaults the wall, and the keep must hold. This is the last wave of this campaign, and it resolves as a fortune roll to see how the Legion weathers it. All right. So assemble the dice based on the following. The survivors always start with 1 die for making it to the final wave. The chosen take 1 die if your chosen is still alive and with the Legion. The prepared take 1 die for each siege weapon the quartermaster has, which is 2. So we're at 4. The resourceful take 1 die if the Legion has both a mercy and an alchemist. So we're at 5. The brave take 1 die if you lit the fires at Kivala. That's a special mission you didn't do. That's up in the mountains. Yeah, a lot of these are like special missions you didn't do. Sorry. The blessed take 1 die if someone in the Legion can weave moonlight. That's a special mission in the forest. The angry take 1 die if the Legion has fire oil, which you do. Yeah, there we go. We're down to 6. The God Slayers take 1 die if you can ring a bell to end broken power. I forget which special mission that is. Yeah, it's basically teasing you about other stuff you could have done if you'd taken different routes, honestly. The Grave Robbers take 1 die if you have the head or chain of a past chosen. Again, what you didn't have. And the Warded take 1 die if the Legion carries an old Empire warding stone. The Weary take -1 die if the Legion morale is 3 or less. Nope. Enemy at the gates take 1 die if you have 3 or fewer time remaining. Nope. The Endless Foes take 1 die for each infamous left alive. There are 2 infamous left alive. You only killed 1 of Render's infamous. You've killed all of Blighter's infamous. There was a mission in the Maw which you have taken. You would have fought against an infamous of his. Instead, you fought him. So that was a choice that was made. And take 1 die, and the Crumbling Defenses. Take 1 die for every incomplete or failed Skydagger Keep mission. This die will kind of like either subtract, add, or not modify your final score this last wave. And when we get the result, I'm gonna each of you to like describe like a scene as the final wave hits Skydagger Keep. But who wants to make this roll? 4d6. They're pretty good odds. It's 4 dice. So long as you don't get a failure, they'll be fine. Because a failure is like -30 points to the final score. So who wants to roll? Come on.
I would volunteer, but I think our commander should, because I would roll all 1s and 2s.
I'm not necessarily sure I'm in a better position than that, given my history with Roll20, but you know, I'll take the rhetorical hit for it.
So we are a roll fortune. 4 dice. Oh, I'm scared.
Okay, here we go.
There's no way you're gonna get like a failure. It's 4 dice. See? Oh my god. There's a 5 in there. You rolled a 5, a 3, a 2, and a 4. Where did those 6s go?
We used them all up.
Yeah, yeah, you used them all up. You rolled 7 6s. Okay, so it's bitter. I think because we kind of have to fit in the fiction of y'all doing really well, but like, I mean, actually, let me read out the thing. This will kind of like affect your final score, which kind of like the final score will see how will kind of like shape how the Legion, what the shape of the Legion is at the next campaign. It's kind of what it is. But bitter, you know, doesn't mean like it's a defeat. It just means could have been more decisive. But so it's -10 points to the final score. The Legion may hold, but this will likely be like their last stand in this place. Like you're not going to be wiped out, but like you'll give enough time. But like I don't see how this will be barely better than Ettenmark Fields. A bit better because you're all prepared for this. But yeah, I think Blighter herself is like she stands out amongst the horde, and you can see there's a reason why she's not been attacking. She's been busy modifying her troops, using car house designs. So you see like a lot of like rotters that kind of like bulking with like mechanical stuff, and you can see some of them are like bombs as well. And that haze, this almost permanent haze coming from the forest that's just been singularly defiled. She's bringing like the bulk of it. Maybe even amongst that mist, you see this gigantic blighted wolf amongst you know what, maybe she's even riding that wolf actually. Yeah, this horrible wolf. And like you see like the trees around the Skydagger Keep start kind of like bulging and like rotting. Yeah. Anyone have like a scene they want to embellish as like the hammer falls on Skydagger Keep? And you can say like, and we can color this like and say you can repel the wave. It just means like, you know, it is going to be like, there's going to be some like, you know, costs to it. Like it says, it's likely their last stand, but there's no reason to say that you don't win. You know, we can talk about that, like how you want like the final sort of the tone of the next hour we're here.
Let's see. I kind of like the idea of basically the Legion having, you know, eventually being pressed to pull back because Blighters just got effectively a damn near limitless supply of these things by this point. So, like, I mean, eventually they'll just walk across the backs of the undead we destroyed to just walk into the keep, like over the wall. There's just, I mean, she's got enough of them to do that. And I think maybe as kind of the last ditch thing, I think the Legion pulls back through those siege engine tunnels to get out to the far side of the keep's grounds, and then we turn the siege engines on the main fortification as the undead are swarming over it. So that basically we're just bringing that whole place down on them, and hopefully that will slow them enough for the remainder of the Legion to make its escape, and they'll have to dig their way through that to come after us. Does that kind of fit with the sort of bitter ending result?
I think it fits for me. Like, I'll open this up to everyone else. Yeah, and probably like some of Blighter's force kind of tries to retreat a bit, but like the avalanche triggers, and they kind of like caught between the avalanche and like the siege being shelled. So like they're being kept there for like the moment, just so like the Legion can retreat. Because like you're not gonna take any more like I don't think more people are gonna die because we have to like shore up however we have left for the final scoring. But yeah, that sounds like, for as much as like heroics happening in each individual mission, like once you're like in a proper war like sort of scenario, it's not, the Legion isn't what it used to be.
I think somewhere in the forests that are near Skydagger Keep, near the walls, Silver Surging Flood has set himself up with a couple of rookies to watch his back, and he's performed the ceremony of biting his arm and giving a bullet the Crimson Shot attribute. Crimson Seeker attribute, and he's been lining up his shot for so long, and then this strange mist just starts permeating the forest, and Silver Surging Flood just can't get the right shot, and it ends up that the rookies have to physically drag him away so that he will survive.
Yeah, and I think as we sort of go back to the fortress, and we've got the scene where where we're pulling this retreat along the to the siege weaponry. I think that's where we see the lawkeeper is maintaining the rear guard, firing off pistols into the undead as they come, and you know, as she sort of fires off her last shot, she draws out an old cavalry blade and just wades into the undead horde.
Jesus.
I think you'd also see like the heavies, like our two heavies, and maybe Theonin too, like basically forming that last sort of, that last sort of retreating wall to kind of keep the mass of the Rotters off of the retreating legion. So like you see that sort of this sort of slow withdrawal through those tunnels, because the tunnels are small enough to where we can hold, at least for a little while, against all those numbers, because they just can't fit. So we're able to, that's one of the ways that they're able to hold, is you see that sort of slow retreat with the braced shields and like the swinging the swords and axes and hammers like across the shield, and anybody that's got a pike is like jabbing over the top, trying to like just hold the horde back long enough for everybody to get through. And that you kind of see that as that sort of scene fades. You see them sort of breach, the sunlight kind of come in over their backs as they make their final way out of the tunnel and try to hold it so that the siege weapons can be set.
It's very Battle of Hoth feeling. Brian, is there anything you want to add?
Nothing dramatic. I think it's just the the grind of the siege, day after day, the things that people aren't sleeping, because the poison clouds are drifting over, and groups of people are getting sick, and it's just wearing on the Legion day after day.
Okay, let me find this. Okay. All right. I think we do get like a shot. Actually, we will get a shot. The Legion won't be able to like pull out for sure. I think like the Chosen, also your Chosen the Horde one has helped there. It's probably like a moment where like we're montaging out this like final episode to an extent of this like of the season, so to speak, of Band of Blades. So it's probably like a moment like Chosen because it'll fight with the Blighted Wolf, and you see like there are some new horrors that Blighter has cooked up, and you notice like they're made up of Render's old army of the Knights of the Black Oak. And it's just horrible. The Heartless that Render has is now like their empty gaping holes are like full of heads or something like that. Yeah, Blighter has spent some time like just making sure that like she give you like a wallop, but I think the Legion will take that wallop on the chin, and they might be rocked, they might be shaken, there might be a concussion, but you're still standing as you like leave Skydagger Keep, as like the siege weapon's gonna pound the fortifications. It's gonna trap as many Blighters forces in between the keep and the avalanche. Yeah, it's bitter, but you've keep the Eastern Kingdom safe for now. So let's do the final scoring, and then we'll let you have, as because we have plenty of time. Let you have like whatever scenes you want to frame, like whatever last shots you want. So let me find the page for final scoring. I'm just gonna put that to 20. Okay, that's one of two pages. Let me just move that. Sorry. Nope. Nope. I want to move. No. Oh, roll 20. I'm being fiddly. Okay. So, final scoring. Here's how you calculate your final score for the campaign. Although it is fun to see how good or disastrous your campaign was, it's most relevant if you want to continue your game in later campaigns, which we're probably not doing at the moment because there's no later campaign out yet. But this is basically to help frame our finale, our epilogue scenes. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. The final score for each campaign is used to set up the next chapter of the Legion's story, such as the defense of Skydagger Keep. Well, is there a Skydagger Keep left? Whatever is left. Low scores, like less than 100, mean that you'll start weaker in the next campaign and might have trouble catching up as the story advances. It's a metric to have an idea of whether your Legion will be able to survive to the final campaign, or feel like jumping to a future chapter to begin with. This is just like a tease for like, oh yeah, we've got more Bandit Blade stuff. Yeah, we'll have more in the future. Watch out. Higher scores above 200 indicate starting at exit position. So, after the final mission at Skydagger Keep, award yourself the following. Survivors. You made it before winter. We gained 20 points. Someone note this down. I'm actually going through this. I don't know, wait for Dan. Remind me, I have to give a big shout out to you for your everyone's organizational skills, but we'll get to that. Yeah, so you gain 20 points. You have to do this. Soldiers and troops. The marshal condenses troops into complete squads, then calculates the following. So we'll give you a few moments to do that.
Oh no, we're good. We are down 3 soldiers, which does not count as any squad being annihilated.
Hell yeah. So yeah, for each squad annihilated, 0 survivors, subtract 10 points. We don't. For each wounded squad, fewer than 5 survivors, subtract 5 points. We don't. For each surviving specialist, gain 5 points. We have 2, 4, 6. We have 7 specialists.
Wait. Every squad is completely full?
No, we have 3. Okay, so we have we lost 2 rookies or soldiers. Otherwise, they're full, except for one who promoted up to a heavy. Actually, that was Zaya.
Okay, so we have 1 squad that's you're supposed to compress it all. So we have 3 missing. So we have 1 squad. So that's
we have one squad that is less than half full.
Okay, so take away 5 points. So okay, each surviving specialist gain 5 points. So we have 2, 4, 6, 7. Then doesn't count because that was a narrative thing. Let me get to that. For each chosen advance, you gain 10 points, and we have 3. See, you might have a bit of defeat, but it's all coming up Legion. It'll be fine. If your morale is between 4 to 7, gain 5 points. If it's 8+, gain 10 points. Did we ever go down to 4 to 5? Once, maybe once. That damn flag, Jesus. Supplies held. The quartermaster assesses remaining resources and calculates the following. For each supply remaining, gain 5 points. We have no supply. Use them up. Siege weapons. You'll need these to hold the keep. For each one, gain 5 points. We have 2, right? Laborers. You'll need these to fortify the keep. For each, gain 5 points. We have 1 group of laborers. So another 5 points. And then the Legion path. The commander reviews completed missions and calculates. For each special mission completed, gain 5 points. I'm going to go through them very, very quickly because I forgot to do that. Let's see. The banner mission was 1 special mission. I remember this. We did that. No, not that. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's better if okay, no, there's one other one. 2. No, that's not special. I'm sorry. There's some missions I labeled special, but that's not what this means. Here we go. 3. Actually, what? I'm going to delete some of these and we'll go through the map and remember what special missions we did there. Let's see. Western Front, you didn't do a special mission there. Plainsworth, you did the mission where you got the banner. That was a special one. It's 1. Sunstrider Camp, you did the mission where you got the fire mains. It's 2. In Westlake, you did the special Urban Shadows Urban City mission. That's 3. You didn't do this special mission at East Lake. Fort Callisto, you did the go into the catacombs. That's a special mission. That's 4. And the Maw, you took care of Render. That's 5. Oh, I think you did 2 special missions in Plainsword because you did the banner mission was a special one. So you did 6. 6 missions. 6 special missions. Not one of them gave you like chain lightning or ability to weave moonlight, but they're fun special missions either way. So for each of those, you gain 5 points. Are you bearing any relics found on special missions? For each one, gain 10 points. You got the banner and you got curdled blood, which technically is a relic I made up, but I'm going to count for this. That's why it didn't show up in the other scoring because I made that up. For each enemy lieutenant slain, gain 10 points. You slain 2. You slain the Sable Arrow, and you slain Victoria Carhow, the 2 human ones at that. You didn't slain the Clockwork Assassin. You ran away from him. And if you slew a Broken, gain 30 points. And also take away 10 for the bitter defense of Skydagger Keep. So how many points is that? I'll give you a moment, Dan, to add them up. Oh, also, if your game has Lord Keeper, add the following. If you kept the annals faithfully through the end of the campaign and it reached Skydagger Keep safely, gain 10 points. I'm going to say whatever notes you have, doesn't have to be good notes, David. We'll give you those 10 points because I know you've been keeping track of what we've been doing.
It looks like with the annals, that takes us to 205 points.
Wow. Hell yeah. So I think, that should color this this last couple of shots. So you're away from Skydagger Keep for the moment, but like I said, you took a punch. Skydagger Keep was it could have been worse, it could have been better, but the Legion is still intact. The Legion is still it's this half and half victory is not going to take away from the fact you took down a Broken, you took down so many of their infamous, you took down quite a bit of their lieutenants, you did so much. 205 points. You're going to be in an excellent position for I don't know, the retaking of the Outermark continent or something like that. Yeah, that should color what's the last shots we want to see of the Legion, and we have some time, so if you want to do more than one shot, get as many characters final shots as you want. I give you a moment to think about what's the last things we want to see.
I think it'd be good to have one scene, and this it might be better to have this one kind of towards the end, where we have basically all the command staff kind of meeting up on the at the Legion's encampment, just on the other side of the mountains there, and having everybody sort of discuss where we are after the retreat from Skydagger.
Yeah. Let's have that scene close out this session.
I think another scene might be good, and Brian, you let me know if you'd like this. Is have have a thing set up to where I think Theoden would be getting a promotion at the end of that. Like I think he would be making it up to full heavy. If we were tallying XP after that, I think that's probably where he would be. So I think it'd be good to like have another one of those sort of ceremonies to top it to sort of cap that off, where we get to see the individual heroics sort of recognized.
Or like Arun probably get promoted as well into whatever he wants to be.
I wasn't sure how close Arun was, but yeah, I mean, any promotions we can do, I think those are really good scenes to have, just to show like that the Legion, even though we had to pull back and we took more of a beating at Skydagger than we wanted to, like we're still there. We're still moving forward.
Yeah, if we were counting XP and if Arun put it all to playbook advancement, like they could get promoted if they wanted to.
Arun also needs a dot and an action to promote to anything. But yes.
Oh wait, I'm looking at the right one. Actually, no, I was looking at the wrong one. So I was looking at Theonen's. Theonen, if you counted XP, can get promoted, but not Arun.
Yeah, Theonen can. I think I don't know if anyone noticed, but I went through and put notes on like a bunch of the soldiers just to see what they were close to promoting to, just because I was curious. And so it's in like the notes in the top left, like what they might need to promote to a specialist. I think Theonen might be the only one who like is ready to promote with just a playbook advance. No, that's not true. Karosh is ready to promote to being a scout.
That would be a cool one to have too, because we've had one heavy promotion. Like it'd be cool to play out that scout one as well.
Yeah, so like but yeah, it's like have like a list of like these scenes, and like we do have we're a bit pressed for time, so like we'll keep like one each of you like do a scene, and we'll end with like the commander with the command staff, just like chatting or like debriefing. What about Dan, David? What's like a shot you want to see, or like a scene you want to see?
I think at one of these promotion ceremonies, the marshal takes Melislav Zayevich aside.
Wants to play Melislav in this, or is there? What does the marshal want from him? I suppose.
I'm gonna echo a scene that David framed a few weeks back, and say that the marshal is bearing in mind that at some point a number of people will die, and that putting Zayevich in charge of reinforcing the walls and the gates and the ramparts was in part a test to see how he manages human resources, and that he passed. He succeeded, and that should the marshal ever die, which will probably never happen, Zayevich should take up that mantle.
I don't want to speak for Melislav. Someone speak for him.
I think. Did anybody else play Melislav? I know I played him once.
I have.
Okay. I mean, I get the impression he'd probably be sort of still be a little taken aback, because he still feels like he's working off those early failures. Like I think that was still kind of weighing on him a little. So I think he'd be. I mean, my impression is he'd be hesitant. But what do you think? Because he's one of those guys that kind of nobody really created him. He just sort of came up as an organic character.
Yeah, he was someone that Matt created because like part of setting up the quartermaster was you get an extra specialist.
Oh, okay. So
Also, doesn't strike me as a guy who wants to work a desk job. He wants to be out there leading from the front. Not he's got the ability to lead from the front. So
yeah.
The idea of being back and just being in command probably doesn't. It's like so he's doing whatever he can to keep the current marshal healthy, I guess.
Yeah, feel free to like not like a full scene, but like just a shot of soldiers.
Maybe there's just a scene of him going to one of our medics, Valeria, like go give the marshal a little extra look over. Just make sure he's doing it. Make sure he's getting enough sleep and eating his full rations.
Does anybody get their full allotted amount of sleep anymore with the Legion? I didn't get the impression that was something we did.
Sleep? Is that a thing that happened?
Well, let's see. What is he? No, okay.
But yeah, if there's like a soldier you want like to give a final shot to, like it doesn't have to be a full scene. Like any of your specialists, any of the rookies, you have a wide variety of them.
I think after I think you will actually see something like Farah doing something that she was kind of reluctant to do before, and I think you actually see her like drinking with basically a couple of the squads of rookies and soldiers. Like I think Theonen's in there, Zaya's in there, like and there's just like it's like maybe it's a little bit of a wake, but it's also like a celebration. Like they took their best shot and we walked away, kind of thing. So there's that. I think there's that. You finally see her sort of letting that guard down and socially that she's so habitually been keeping up during the missions and the social scenes before.
Yeah. David, we've not heard from yourself. Do you have an idea of like image you want to see?
Yeah. So I think kind of there's it's we see like a scene of this one of the like paths leading away from the keep that the Legion retreated down, and we see Scarlet Dancing Glade sort of walking back towards where the Legion is encamped from the up this path, and he's tossing like a big sack empty just onto the ground behind him as he slips back in. And as we sort of pan back up, we see that all along this path there are stakes mounted with the heads of crows on top of them.
It's your last chance to be metal as hell, folks. So take every chance you can. Yeah, I'm just going through like all these like sheets. See like, oh, who do we want to see? Who? We don't have to get every single one of them, but we do have time.
There is a brief scene between Raya, Arani, and the Chosen. She finds the Chosen brooding, as the Chosen often does, and as the Chosen looks at her, Raya reveals her sweet new tattoo, which glimmers very faintly in the torchlight. And she holds a handful of salves and stuff and says, you got cut up pretty good. I'm going to help. And she goes about treating the wounds of the Chosen.
Yeah, I think like before like Fort Callisto, she would have hesitated for sure. But I think after people chipped in to like get that water to heal her and whatnot, and after all this, yeah, I think like she will like there's like a moment of hesitation, but like she'll like l- reach a hand out and you'll see like yeah, there's like cuts and like bruise, kind of like bruising over like her arm, and Ryan will take care of that. Anyone have any other ideas?
Maybe one more little one. Just like we see a scene like of uh, Rashi and Cyprian. I think Cyprian is sort of doing that little weave thing that he's doing, like sort of muttering. And I think you see Rashi actually trying to make notes out of it and sort of make sense of it, because he's like, I get like every other sentence, and he's like, and then he compares them. He's like, no, and he scratches through part of it, and like he's trying to use this to do something, but he doesn't know exactly how to interpret all of this muttering. And I think it's like we see kind of a scene of that, and eventually, like I think you see Rashi sort of showing these notes to probably the quartermaster and the lore keeper, and saying, and just like you see scenes of him like showing this stuff, and then just holding his hands up and like, this is the best I can do. I can't figure out what the heck she's talking about, or what the heck Cyprian's talking about, but this is the most sense I can make of it.
Yeah, that's really cool. If no one else has like any small scenes, let's do like the two we kind of proposed: a promotion, like ceremony, and then the command staff. But yeah, it's the last chance to like get any smaller things in. If not, we'll go ahead. Let's see. Which promotion do you want to see, Thanen or Karaj?
Well, we've done one heavy. Maybe let's see what a scout would look like. Maybe get Glade in there to do the scout promotion. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's probably like the Legion encampment, because like even though like you've been you've retreated quite a bit, but like I think yeah, let's set the scene. It's probably out like either in a field or near a forest, or like because it can't be like where in the Skydagger Keep is. Probably like, near where the command tent is. So each of you could like add a detail of like what a promotion ceremony for like a scout would look like, and then we'll like cut to like Karaj on how he feels.
So yeah, I think that Scarlet kind of has like a pouch of like ash or soot or something, and kind of marks it down Carriage's face with his sort of outstretched fingers. It's kind of like similar to like what you do to kind of do the whole like camo thing, but in a much more stylized way. And again, I think it was as before. He kind of does a little bit of a speech about what the duties of scouting for the Legion entail. But then as he's finished going through kind of the form, but he just leans in close to Karaj and says, "Oh, by the way, I've got you a new bow and arrow." And then he just kind of nods off in the direction of the forest. I trust you to find it yourself.
Grumpy cat boy, scout. Is there anything else? Dan, Brian, you want to add like maybe like reactions from the other soldiers, or like this is the second raven that like, oh no, Theonin got promoted as well. So like there's 2 ravens and a stag made it the specialist. Anything else you want to add, Dan, Brian? Cool. All right. So I think let's do one last scene then with like the command staff. Did the lore keeper get out of there, or David, or
I think we'll be introducing a new lore keeper. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. So let's open up in the command tent and like, yeah, I want each of you to describe like, yeah, how your command staff characters like looks and how they're doing. I guess like, do they look tired? Do they look weary? Do they look determined? I will say that like the chosen's not there at the moment. It's just the 4 of you, and your spy master who's behind enemy lines at the moment. let's say that's why he's not there, because we did have a spy master for like a month.
Oh gosh, I think. I mean, my guess is probably everybody looks a little bit sleepless because we haven't really had a chance for anybody to get a decent night's sleep. I think again we've got a table in the middle of the tent, set up with a with a staked out map. This time, it starts with Skydagger Keep on the west, and then it proceeds east, and so you get your first sort of half glance of the Eastern Kingdoms, and kind of where things what like a plan might be on this side of Skydagger Keep, and where our places for resources might be. And I think you see like everybody sort of putting little marks on the map based on their knowledge of things. I think like maybe quartermaster knows, hey, we can get this place is famous for this thing and that sort of stuff. The marshal's going, okay, this is a place where you get a lot of good recruits. Like we have like little markers on the map to kind of give us an idea of what things we need to get and where we can go to get them. And I think I don't know that we'd have a new lore keeper yet, unless Dave, you had an idea. Was it going to be? I got the impression you were looking at Rashi as a possibility. Does that seem? Is that where?
Yeah. So I think maybe Rashi sort of enters the sort of command. Well, we'll wait to be get allowed to enter the command tent, and we'll come in with kind of an armful of like scrolls and documents and like sort of big a big backpack sort of thing, like a proper sort of full pack type thing, and sort of announced himself with comments. Says a lawkeeper Chabati asked me to safeguard as much from the keep as I could. I gathered what I could before we left.
I think the commander basically walks over and like takes part of the arm load from you and sort of sets it on like one of the other like small tables in the command tent. And she says, "You did well." Did she tell you what was going to happen now?
She said that she was sure we'd work something out. We have her notes and what we salvaged from the keep. I'm sure we can preserve something.
And And do you think, David? Do you think Rashi understood that he was going to be the new lore keeper?
I think so. Certainly that he was going to be groomed for that position, but yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if we would get to like sort of lay that on him as a surprise in here, like take your sort of a take your chair sort of moment.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Okay, I think the commander basically walks over to the lore keeper's seat and like pulls it out and motions for Rashi to sit down.
Are you sure, Commander? Is it not too soon?
The Legion moves, and the Legion always moves forward.
And I think he'll just kind of nod and take a seat.
Are the Marshal and the Quartermaster already there?
I would think so. I think because they already knew like where they're supposed to be. I think the lore keeper would be my guess is the new lore keeper would be the last person into the tent. Would be what I would think, but I'll leave that up to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Quartermaster's there for sure.
How's she feeling? How's she looking?
She's advocating for supply missions as soon as the winter's over. About the only resource left, we have not eaten the fire mains. They may be the only fire mains not in the position of an undead army. So she knows some rich noblemen to the east that actually might pay a good price for them. That's about the only resource the Legion currently has of much value.
And the Marshal, how are they doing?
I think the Marshal's doing pretty well. Let's say the Marshal says, well, we're all here. I was going to save this all for myself, but apparently I have to watch my sugar and empty calories. So this is for all of us. And he pulls out a flask of good brown liquor and pours it into 5 cups and passes them around.
Five cups. There's only 4 of you there. Chosen's not there yet.
You're right. The Marshal is not great at counting.
But he's been doing so well this entire campaign. I think this is the moment when like you pour out the brandy and like the flap opens and like the Chosen has stopped being weird and just showing out of nowhere. She's actually making a point to like announce her presence, and she sees like you miscounted like you're pouring the 5th cup, and she kind of just gives you like a look. Yeah. She's used the door. She kind of like raises an eyebrow at you.
I think the commander like motions her to one of the cups of liquor.
I think like she'll kind of like take one and like kind of lightly grasp it, and she's kind of like just looking at it as if like trying to remember the last time she had liquor, and then she says, "How are you all holding up?"
And I think it'd be a fun moment if like basically everybody sort of all the command staff sort of look at each other and then like shot glass that liquor down.
I think Chosen has kind of no choice but like to just smile at that, and she'll also like chunk down her. Is this hard? This has to be hard liquor. Just kind of like, and yeah, she kind of like just gives it like that look, like that Legolas having 10 pints of beer look. That's a fair answer. The Legion the Legion still survives, and in many ways it is a miracle, but to those who have not spent time with any of you, it would be a miracle, but to me, it seemed a certainty. And she kind of like puts the glass down, and she says, "You've all done so well. You've weathered the storm. Though the storm is still yet ongoing, I have no doubt that you will help forge something better out of this world." I think like there's like a look where she looks at she kind of like looks away for a moment, and there's like this like wistful sort of gaze, and probably like an uncomfortable like 20-second silence, and she's just like looking away for a moment. And she says, "Oh, I almost forgot. I came to bring word from the east. Help is arriving soon. Though this has been the Legion's fight for a while, know that the Legion is not alone." And no one else has anything to say, so she will just like slip away.
And I think the commander is looks at the marshal and like taps her glass again. this time in celebration.
Yeah, I think like, is there anything else anyone add to that scene? Because that sounds like a good way to like close it off. Yeah, so yeah, we get like a last shot of like the chosen link kind of about to leave, but like yeah, commander taps the glass, and so she'll stay. And Marshall doles out the last, and I don't know, sneakily take a sip for himself. And yeah, we get like that kind of proper classic backing away sort of shot, like away from like the tent as all the commandos are drinking, and like we get like a overhead shot of like the encampment as the Legion is like refitting, resting up, but like people doing stuff, or like, people like doing training, some people like just maybe train out, some people in guard duty out in this encampment as we kind of like zoom away. And I think as we zoom away, like the landscape just turns into the map, and then we roll credits. Does that sound good? Yeah. Geez, we did it. We did it. Oh my god. We actually did it. Jesus, we missed like one session. Oh my god. Yeah, it's yeah. Oh my god. I'm a bit speechless. Babbling. I'm gonna stop recording, but like yeah, I just want to give a shout out to every person, every player got involved in this campaign. Shout outs to people who were with us for a while. Patrick for joining us for that 1 month, and fleshing out our spy master and just really just being cool. Shout outs to Matt who was here from the start and like really helped like dial in some of like the more murkier side of the Legion. Really turned Flood into like this obsessive cut insta trauma bullet Warrior. Yeah, and of course, big shout outs to yourselves, to you, Brian, for like jumping in for the last stretch and just really helping us with the logistics and just like really shoring up that side because like yeah, and also like being really helpful like with the rules and whatnot as well. For sure. A big shout out to yourself, David, for like jumping in and out and really also helping like foster the history of the Legion, thanks to your lore keepers tales and some really just cool characters and cool moments with those characters. Just badass. Shout outs to Dan for Jesus Christ, all the bookkeeping you have to do for the Marshall. Like also you also really cool stuff, some really cool funny stuff as well. With with Raya and the Marshall and just like getting like a bit of the the lighter side of this conflict, but mainly honestly for like keeping track of all who has stress, who's wounded, who's which squad's gone what, giving them names. It's a Herculean task, and also having to roll those accursed secondary primary mission dice. Sorry, I'm getting away my stars. The way I should have explained that, and of course, big shout out to Chris, who like yes, take the blame for instigating this whole thing and kind of like giving, giving this campaign kind of like its beating heart for sure. Because I think you're the one who kind of like really like help kind of like foster what the Legion is, what this world is, and like just because you had to lead us, you had to like just take the take the role of commander, and I think you took to it really well. And again, some really cool characters, just like building them up, like Farah and whatnot, and then jumping in to other characters. That stuff with Cyprian at the at the 2 sessions ago, Jesus. Yeah. This is so much stars, so just like just some well deserved like kudos. For sure. I'll get to your stars after recording. Sorry. um, yeah, because I always like to get on recording just like how great players are at the Gauntlet first and foremost, and just how great these players are, and just fostering together. Again, shout outs to Strash Ashmovic and John Booth Little for designing this game. Shout outs to Tim Denny and Jacob Ossinghouse for creating this amazing Roll20 array, which it has really saved our bacon in terms of like I think as I think a good chunk of that has really helped with the bookkeeping and the logistics for sure. Just like instead of having to fiddle with like paper and whatnot, just like click these buttons and stuff like the playbooks just upgrading and carrying over your stuff. That's just dope. So shout outs to that. Or shout outs to John Harper for designing this whole Forge in the Dark stuff. Shout outs to Glenn Cook, I guess, for the Black Company series. Sure. Wait, is that Glenn Cook? No, wait. I'm confusing author. Yeah, it is Glenn Cook. Okay, cool. Sorry, for some reason I'm confusing the name Glenn Cook with Gene Wolfe. That's a different sci-fi fantasy author. Yeah, and of course, shout out to the Gauntlet for making this all possible and bringing us all together. All right, I've done enough shout outs and start this recording to get in front to talk about stars and whatnot and thoughts. Yeah, if you want to check out stuff for the Gauntlet, check out Band of Blades, check them all out in the description down below. Otherwise, see you YouTube. See you when I see you. Bye.